Hello, everybody, and welcome to Relentless and Unstoppable. Today we have Jesse Iwuji from the Xfinity series with us. Hey, man, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. How's it going?
Things are going great. It looks like the COVID pandemic is mostly out of it. It's mostly off, so things are starting to turn around, and it looks like NASCAR is doing good with the generation car, right?
Yeah, this new next gen has been getting better and better. They've been learning. It was just taking just everybody learning the car, learning how it races, learning how to better strategize with it. You know, it's a new car. This is year one, so I think everybody's been really just doing what they can to collect as much data as possible so they can make them better. But yeah, once we get into next year and the year after, it'll just be better and better.
Great to hear. So, you have a naval career outside of racing, right?
Yeah, yeah, and it's getting busier and busier. Even though it's the reserves, this year has been a lot more busy than it has been the last couple of years. Just because I'm in a different role now. You know, before I was just a department head. Now I'm an executive officer for the units, so that comes with a lot more responsibility.
How did your naval career begin?
For me, it began back when I really went to the Naval Academy. That's really where it began. You know, I got recruited to play football at the Naval Academy. Went there. I got there 2006. Was there all 4 years. Played football all 4 years. Graduated in 2010. Became a surface warfare officer. And as a surface warfare officer, I was on the ships. So during my time on the ships, I was deploying. I was going underway. I was doing all this stuff. And you know, that was really kind of the beginnings of my naval career. It really started at the Naval Academy, then blossomed to when I became an officer in the Navy.
That's awesome. What was your reaction when you learned you became a naval officer?
I knew that eventually, or I knew that at that point, life was going to be different, right? As a U.S. naval officer, you're in charge of people, you lead people, you have a lot of equipment under you, you have a lot of responsibilities. There's a lot of things. You're no longer a kid, even though you're 20. I was 22, I think, when I graduated. Even though you're pretty young, you're no longer a kid. I mean, you have real life responsibilities, real lives are at risk due to the decisions that you'll be making from that point. So for me, it was just, you know, I had to make sure I turned on the switch to become, you know, as mature as possible and responsible as possible.
That's great. When did you decide to go into racing?
For me, getting into racing, I decided I made a decision in 2014, I would say. I was literally sitting in my room one night and I made the crazy decision that I wanted to become a pro driver. Prior to that, I was doing like open track days, and you know those are cool and all, but I wanted to do like the real thing. I wanted to actually race, and professional racing really kind of was what was the next step. Even though I didn't have like anywhere near the experience that other people did, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go learn along the way. You know, I'll have good days, I'll have bad days, but all you can do is just go after your goals and dreams. You know, why sit at home and not go after goals?
Definitely. Who's your biggest racing hero?
I don't have any biggest racing heroes. But there are people I definitely I can in a way look up to. Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's an awesome guy, super nice guy, down to earth. Love how he handles himself, especially with all the attention he gets. That's great. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, there's other people who are great and all, but like I would say him, I probably would say definitely. I like to model myself like him as much as I can.
Great. He's a great driver. So, what teams have you driven for?
Throughout racing, man, when I was in late models, I ran for Performance P1 Motorsports. When I ran the K&N series, I ran for Patriot Motorsports Group and ARCA, same thing, ran for them. Ran for another ARCA team for one race. Cannot remember their name. It was just one race. And then trucks ran for Rayum Brothers Racing. And then Xfinity, I've run for my team, you know, Jesse Iwuji Motorsports. I've run for BJ McCloud Motorsports, and I've also run for Carl Long.
That's great. The small teams, and they're getting better each week from what it looks like.
He actually ran for Mike Harmon, actually, one race too last year.
That's awesome. So, what was working with Carl Long like?
It was fun. I ran one race with them. It was my first Xfinity race ever. We went out there, finished lead lap, even though it was a rainy race. Went out there, finished lead lap at Road America. Got all the laps in, didn't make any major mistakes. I was learning as I went, and yeah, it's my first Xfinity start, so no, it wasn't bad.
Was BJ McCloud fun to work with too?
Yeah, BJ seems great. They definitely upgraded their program as the years have gone on. So yeah, it was good working with them. I had a good experience, learned a lot from BJ. We were able to go out there and execute on our plan, which was just to go out there, get the laps in, finish the race. We don't have any issues or anything like that, and that's what we did.
Great, good to hear. So, what made you decide to go into team ownership?
Wanted to get into the team ownership side because at that point you have a lot more say so on what can happen with the team, what you can do with the team, where you can go with the team, which all that stuff. If I don't own the team, let's say there's a particular event and we want to go do some activation there. I mean, it's hard to tell some other race team that I don't own their assets. I don't have, I don't pay their people, so how can I tell them where to go, what to do? They got busy schedule and things they need to make happen. So in order for us to be able to really truly have ownership in our own destiny, you have to have ownership in the team. So that's why we decided to go that route and get that going.
And what made you select 34 as your number?
We wanted to select 34 for a bunch of reasons, but the main reason was we wanted to make sure we continue to honor Wendell Scott and his family. Wendell Scott was the number 34 in NASCAR, and it was just fitting for us to have that same number two, since there really isn't a lot of African Americans racing in NASCAR. So we wanted that number. We ended up getting it, and I love it. It's a number I've run before in the past in the ARCA series, and in the truck series as well.
Okay. Have you faced any racism or opposition when you entered NASCAR or what?
I mean, I've faced some online trolls that are racist. I guess I faced that. I wouldn't really say I faced it at the track. The only other, oh, I did face it with somebody on the team, our team. He's no longer there. He works for another team. We had to fire him. But besides that, yeah, I haven't faced it anywhere else. So, if it happens, it happens. And if I get to find out who it happens from, we do what we got to do to take care of that problem. And from there, really, it's just more of just doing what you can to expose the issues and get rid of the issues, and then help unite the sport and the people so that we can have a better united front for more positive atmosphere. We don't need racist people around. They don't bring positivity to the sport. They bring nothing good to the sport. They don't belong in the sport. And when we see them, we find them, we get them out.
I'm with you on that. There's no room for racism, homophobia, or discrimination against anyone, not in a sport like that. They're trying to be a sport for everybody. And I think it's kind of amazing how over the years we quickly have figured out what some people have viewed behind the scenes, like PK and a couple others. That's just no room for racism.
Yeah, most definitely. Definitely no room for it at all. So, yeah, no, in order to have a more inclusive sport and inclusive environment, we got to, if we see a problem, we can't sit back and just let it be, because that's what people have done in the past. And that's why the problem still exists. But the more we can weed out the issues, the better we'll be. No one should be scared to weed out the problems.
Nobody should be scared to do what's right either.
Yep.
So, what's your favorite race you've run so far with the 34?
Favorite race. Texas was going to be my favorite race, and then at the end, we got caught up in a wreck at the end. And then Road America was fun. I liked that one. I had my best finish of the year there. My best Xfinity finish, I think, ever. But I always like Road America, super fun place. So I would say Road America is like one of my top places. I like Atlanta too. The first time we ran there, we were actually running pretty good, and then once again we got caught up in a wreck at the very end of the race. Everyone drove crazy, and then we just were right in the middle of it. The second race didn't go so well. I had a spin early on. We were really, really loose on our setup. Obviously we didn't have practice. So there was no way I was going to know until the race. But that was a place where we thought we were going to come and run well, because we had pretty good fortune the first race. For the most part, we were running pretty well. And we thought, hey, we'd come back with a better car and more experience and we were going to be better. But We're just a little bit off on the setup to start with, but we fixed that. We just made the adjustments we needed to, and then things ran better from there. It just we got caught up early, so it's all good. It happens.
Yeah. What's the nearest you've come to victory if you had to think?
In what series?
In the Xfinity series.
Xfinity, I mean, my best finish is 22nd. I've at Daytona, I was running somewhere in the top 15 at some point. Um, yeah, it's tough to say. I'm still learning. I do not have anywhere near the laps as everybody else, so I haven't even thought about you know victory stuff yet.
Okay. What was the process for forming your team?
The process is really you gotta one find the funding, right? Like nothing will happen. You can't put people or parts or pieces or shops together if you don't even have the money for it, right? No one's gonna work for free. The shops, if you're gonna go rent a shop, they need to get paid. You gotta go the equipment you need to purchase, you gotta purchase it, right? So first you gotta find the funding. That's what we did first. We put together the funding, we put together the partnerships and deals. Once we did that, then we went and started buying equipment and putting together the people. We started hiring people, crew chiefs and car chiefs and mechanics and all that stuff, pit crews, you name it. We started doing all that and we were buying equipment. We put that all together and then we got to Daytona. So start to finish, we did it in a very short period of time, but we were able to make it work.
That's great to hear. Isn't your race team run with a partnership with Rayom Brothers?
No, no. They've helped us definitely for sure in the early beginnings of this year. But no, we're not like at their shop. We're not partnered with them, but we do things with them though. I mean, we like we buy some stuff from them. We do some trades. I mean, we definitely have a relationship, but we're not like in some official partnership, I would say.
Okay. And let me think. There was something else I wanted to ask. Trying to remember. Oh, what is your shop like?
It's nice. It's a 7,500 square foot shop. It's pretty big. Honestly, we could house right now. We house about 6 cars there. We could house double that. It's definitely plenty of space. Really clean shop. I really like it a lot. And yeah, it definitely does the job.
What were the struggles you went through to forming your team?
Struggles was really, putting all the right parts and pieces as far as equipment together and people, because when we were getting all that together, it was like January. I mean, we were like a month away from Daytona, having to hire people and do all that stuff. It was very, very short time frame, but we were able to put it together and get there. Qualified into Daytona on speed, went and ran the race, did all that stuff. But yeah, no, it's not easy. I would say the biggest struggle was just putting everything together in such a short time frame. We really didn't have much time. Really had just a few weeks, but we made it happen.
Great to hear. Are you planning to go to the Cup Series eventually?
Yeah, that's the goal to get to Cup Series, get to the Cup level. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes a lot of training, a lot of seat time, experience. It takes money, all these things. So those are all the things I'm working on now. Right now, my focus is to get better and better at the Xfinity level, and then I'll get to a certain point where eventually, Cup is the next thing. I just got to focus on getting better where I'm at right now.
Definitely. So, who's your partner in the team?
Partner, like as far as like my co-owners or driver,
Yeah.
like yeah,
Oh,
yeah, on the co-ownership side, Emmett Smith, Hall of Fame running back, Mike Antonucci, and also Matt Casto. We're all four partners on this team, and we started it together, and we're here to stay for a long time.
so Emmett is also a motorsports fanatic leading up to the team.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he was a motorsports fanatic, but I think he definitely had interest in it and wanted to try something different and be part of something different. And that's why he wanted to jump on board. And he knew that by having a team, we were able to affect positive change in this world. Whether it's continue to diversify motorsports or continue to use this platform to help service members and veterans, using this platform to help kids, whatever we got to do. It's stuff that we can do with having a team. So that's why he was on board to be part of it.
That's great to hear. It looks like you have a big journey ahead of you with ownership.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, it's a lot to handle for sure, but we're making things happen.
Great to hear. This is my last question I have for this interview. It's what impact do you want to leave on race fans?
I would say the impact I want to leave is really an impact of positivity, impact of helping others understand how important it is to not only grind and go after your goals and after your dreams and never settle, never give up, but also while you're doing it, be able to help other people and do good for other people. Don't be a negative Nancy. Don't be the type of person to try to be detrimental to other people's lives and careers and journeys. Be a positive part of it. If you don't have anything positive to give to it, then go somewhere else, right? So that's really the legacy I would like to leave.
It looks like you're on the right track so far with the diversity you're promoting and the great team you've created.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So that's all I have for now, but I thank you for coming on the show again.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yep, no problem. So everybody, please hit like and subscribe on this video and check out Jesse Iwuji at Iwuji Motorsports. Thanks, man.
Yeah.